Hockey
You're
Nation
live.
fans, welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show. This is your Coach Frenchie, directly from the booth, and we have to go all the way to all the West Coast to find our co-host, Michael Devillano.
How's it going, Pierre?
Great. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another great show. We have a lot on the plate right now because we have, first of all, around the league yesterday was the GM meetings, a couple injuries, COVID-19, Colorado back in the lineup, Blake Wheeler is going to be there. So we have to talk about this. And we also have a 4-game only. Yesterday was a quiet, but a late one because we have to go almost like 1 o'clock to watching the last game, Montreal against Edmonton, and then another big night in NHL tonight. A lot of game on the program, and that's make what happening. So we're pretty sure we're going to have you guys aboard. I'm sure we're going to see NHL this morning. We have a great live stream yesterday for the Hockey Nation Live Show. We have a couple of people like Sly still until today, and we have Frank Salazar on the board. And also we have, of course, the Gator Tim. Is going to be interesting tonight because, Michael, tonight, the big game is really Carolina against the Florida Panthers. So it'll be interesting talking about that, of course. And we're going to go through your Detroit Red Wings. And finally, yesterday was the first time the first NHL team got clinched, like you said, clinched the playoff happening yesterday. That's be great. And then yesterday we have also the win and the Minnesota, Montreal, and OT by Chicago. So go through this and just give you a resume. We're going to talk about this, but let's talk about the first about the meetings in NHL. They already announced or they predict they're going to start the season 2021-2022 October 12th. If everything look good, the only problem, the little things could be is the situation with Canada because the COVID-19 is just like, I don't know what they are doing over there, but it just blew my mind. They still shut down people, everything like that, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not there anymore, so I don't know exactly. But that could be a problem for the beginning of the season at the date I just mentioned to you. The training camp start September 22nd. So I don't know if you have any comments about that first.
It's crazy. I don't know how do we even just, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, it's bigger than hockey, right?
Yeah. On the flip side, I would say to you, if it's not COVID Canada situation, I would say it's great to see NHL announce already this situation, right? They announced about that. During the day, we heard like a little bit, I don't know if you know, a little bit drama by Robert Lehner, comments about vaccination and everything like that. So I don't know if you
I mean, I don't know. Like he's frustrated because he was under the impression, I guess, that if players got vaxxed, then they would lift restrictions, and they're saying no, we have to have everybody vaxxed, but we're not going to tell everybody to get vaxxed. So it's like it's a weird thing, and not everywhere can get them. So there's a lot of factors. I think he just spoke his mind, which didn't seem terrible, but it gives media to chew on, right? So
yeah, the key behind this was the fact, like they thought everybody's going to be not draft, but they be vaccinate, and then then they don't want to change the rules from the Sunday start at the beginning of the year, so they said that we have to wait everything like that. So pretty interesting about that.
Both sides. I mean, it's frustrating.
Yeah, during the meeting, they talk about something like that. I just want to mention to you. They talk about the Olympic situation. They talk about the men's World IIHF. They talk about the NHL draft situation regarding the July 23rd, 24th draft this year. The long-term injury reserve. That's another subject he was talking about. And also the coach challenge. And finally, the puck over the glass suggestion. That's another
What was
thing.
the suggestion with that?
About what?
The puck over the glass.
I think for them is it's not they don't want to get automatically a penalty. If they do that, at least it's like it's fun area, right? If they want to send the puck, because you can do this over the bench, return that, or prior to that, could have another penalty, return that. So they try to minimize that, the circumstance of that, and also maybe a 5 versus 4, and then you send the puck just not because you try to deliberate send the puck on the stand, but you try to icing the puck and the 5 versus 4, and that's something there they was talking about. Maybe keep the rules, but change the rules on fun ways.
Yeah. So I don't understand. So they're saying not automatic. How would they decide?
A 5 versus 4. So they will delete. They will not give any penalty at the team a 5 versus 4 example.
I see. Okay, got it.
So that will be the
Dream.
everything like that. So that's something they're looking about that. The coach challenge is um, it's another one they try to look good about that one over there for the playoff, and then that's pretty much happening around the Olympics. That's another subject about that one over there. They have to figure out that, and it was more about the date. The meeting, Michael, was only 2 hours to 22 minutes.
Oh, that's fast. Okay.
That's fast. Because usually 2 3 days in Boca Raton, so you
That's
cannot
like
enjoy the Florida temperature, and also it was quick on the Zoom. To be honest with you,
quick. That's unusual.
yeah. The only thing also you mentioned is about the situation about the playoff, where they're still looking about how they're going to do bubble, how they're going to move the team Canada and USA, something like that. So that's something they have to look about that part also.
I think the problem before, the Canadian, or at least the Edmonton government, was pretty flexible, even Toronto, right, about letting them in. But at this point, do you not maybe move it to Vegas or something?
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. That's what they try to figure out this, the flexibility better, maybe more on USA versus Canada. This is something they look, or they would keep. The problem is this part is one team Canada have to play is because you have only one team at the end,
Right.
So you don't have like 3 versus 1.
Right.
So, and again, that team play where? So, and they cannot do back and forth. Like they cannot go play 2 game in Montreal and 2 game after that in Boston, right? So
they're not really playing in, I would say, like, where do they have fans? Florida?
no, and now many state in Canada, and yeah, I think it was the last count was 23 or 24 teams in NHL have fans. Yeah, minus so it's pretty open about that. I think Vegas could be the right place.
Yeah.
You can get everything there, and you move everything. And I like the fact it's back and forth.
That would make a lot
of games, same place. So
back to back.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
The only thing that would be sad is those 14 example like Tampa, Washington, Vegas, and or Carolina, Colorado, and Toronto example. The problem is like Vegas. If they play all the game in Tampa, the fans of Vegas are penalized because the team cannot see in front of the people.
That's why it'd be interesting.
That's the only thing I would say is something they have to figure out about that. But anyway, so that's what's around this situation around the league and NHL for the GM. Patrick Malo played his 900 straight game yesterday. After he beat the 1768 game straight, not straight, but regular game. It's another Iron Man for him. 900 game. That's amazing. More his story is pretty good what he did, honestly. On the injury side, we have, of course, Zach Bukoshin is going to be out for a while from the Tampa Bay, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's going to be out for maybe a couple of weeks or something like that. That's something you have to be careful. The big story in Toronto is, of course, is the the situation for goaltender. So so that's something they mentioned about that one over there. One another injury happening is now Connor Gallen is out. A knee injury sideline. So he's going to be he suffered this during the practice. So we don't know is a daily. They was reevaluate. So that's another big blowout, a blow for Arizona, uh, because the importance of him. Matter of fact, like he's a great hockey player for them, for sure. Um, you know about that one over there. Try to find another injury. Something Colorado. Colorado is back on the ice tonight after missing since April 14th because of the situation. But they're not going to play without the All Star Rantanen. Rantanen's still on the COVID-19, so it will be interesting to see that. So he's not at the trip and St. Louis tonight, and we'll see how long he's going to be out because of the COVID situation for the Colorado Avalanche. And we know already. I did not know that the Star Michael they play not yesterday, the day before they play without Eskinen and Hands. We missed this one. Um, I was completely blown by this. I did not see that. I don't know if you see that, but
Who? Colorado didn't play with who?
no. Dallas Star did not
As a
play with
captain.
Eskinen
Yeah,
and Hands.
what the heck is with Hens, man?
That's something. It's funny you said that way because they are worried at the end of the year he could be in a surgery, and he didn't mention the location, but they worry about he could be missing after that a couple like months after that. If we talk about his stat yesterday, remember we said, look, he missed this game. Whoop, play 4 game. He missed this game. Whoop, he played 3 game. He missed this game.
So much. It's not
Yeah.
helpful.
So it's something he's not full recovery. It's something bother him for sure.
He was like that in the playoffs too, right? Like I think he's
Yeah.
just he's very injury prone, it seems.
Yeah.
Or it's some weird lingering thing.
Exactly. So it's something I think it's that it's not bother, but it's something they have to do that. We can go in the game, or I can mention to you 12 RFA, the top RFA for upcoming season. You want to consider that way, or you want to go to the game and then move to the other subject at the end?
Whatever you want. Up to you, Pierre. What do you want to talk about?
They have a subject about right now. They are talking about the NHL top 12 RFA on 2021.
Okay, go for it.
And I want to mention and tell me a little bit more. What do you think he will get?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Number one, Kel Makar, 22 years old, got $880,000 right now per year. You know already what Makar can do. Do you believe he can get 8 years at $64 million like Thomas Chabot?
Probably.
Or do you believe he's going to get a little bit where McEnvoy get a $4.9 million at 3 years? Or Wawrinski at $5 million?
He's already a star, Pierre. I feel like if you lock him up, like the Chabot contract is to their benefit. The question is, will he? Does he think that he can do a bridge and then get 10 million? Probably. Because he's a point of game defenseman. He's a phenomenal player, obviously.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Does he do a bridge for 2 or 3 years?
For me, I think Colorado is going to be a bridge because the situation with Gruber, Lenskedog, and other players they are lucky to have a friendly contract with McKinnon, right? But I think for them, I see more them to go for 3 years.
I think that's possible. I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like they're gonna probably try to get him long. Like they'll probably use the Chabot contract as the comparable, which I would do.
Yeah.
And then does he bite? I mean, I think he probably feels like, listen, I'm probably going to be the franchise player. I'm as good as McKinnon.
Number two. Number two, Miro Eskenin.
And what? And he's on entry level still.
He's RFA. Yeah. 21 years old.
I mean, I got to think he's in the $6 million range. He might be 7. I don't know. He might be similar to Makar, you know. I think, like, do you think he's the same as Shabbat? I do.
It's a pretty, I think, you know, one step above, below Makar, because I think Eskenin, he played also with Glenberg, everything like that. He bring a lot of the team. I think they were going to have maybe a 1-2 million difference, 1 million difference, I believe. So I think for him, it's going to be about 5.5 to 7 million per year for 3 years. Because of the COVID situation.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 5.5 times 7.
no, I think he's going to get about 6-7 million for 3 years.
Yeah, for 2 years.
3.
I feel like he would have to be closer to the Shabbat length, like 6 to 8 years to get 6-7 mil.
Yeah, I would believe me. I don't know if you agree with me because the COVID situation. I feel like every contract dropped for about $1-3 million cheaper.
It's probably true. You're probably right.
You know what I mean? So
if you're an owner and you're anticipating getting past this.
Now the number 3, Quinn Hughes.
I think he's a little less at this point. I mean, I think he's got some flaws in his game the other guys don't, but he's super talented.
You're right about the one area. I think on defensive side, and the I think he's struggling on the defensive side. Second thing on the bottle, I think he fall a lot or he lose a lot of bottle. That's maybe the only location I feel like he's not like this. But what he bring for the Vancouver, I feel like he does the same thing like Wawrinski or Makar or Eskenin does for their own team. Does it make sense?
So what is Wawrinski at? Like 4.5, 5?
Oh no, Wawrinski is more.
Is he more? Is he like 6'5"?
I can look for you if you.
He was short term, wasn't he? Because that's an interesting comparison. There's a guy that scored 20 goals. He's 5 million. So he's had a 3-year deal for 5 million, Pierre.
Okay. So I think that's the, is another one. I think he could get $6 million, $5 to $6 million, and I think for 3 years again.
Yeah, probably.
And then you're going to get the money out in the next couple of years from Sutter, Adler, and Longo.
Yeah, probably.
Now talking about the number 4, same team, Elias Pettersson.
Man, I don't know. I think he's at least 7 or 8 mil. I don't see how you don't. He's the best player out of that draft. I mean, he's like a franchise player, He was off a little bit this year, but I think we see now he was probably dealing with injuries, right? And actually, if you look at his stats, Pierre, he's almost back to where he was. He clawed his way back. He had 21 points in 26 games. He only played 68 games last year. Was that normal? Did they shorten the season? Yeah, that's what they
I believe for me is a $5-6 million with him for 3 years. I think
I don't know, Pierre. You might be like, that might be low.
Lower?
No, I think that's low because the guy had 28 goals as a rookie and 66 points. And then he gets a point a game in his second year, and he's almost at a point a game this year, and he was a little off in the beginning. Now he's been hurt, but he's 22. He's a little older, right? So I don't know. That's his entry level's up. Does that affect him? I think he's gonna. I mean, he's drafted. What did Heeshire get? Heeshire got 5 mil, right? And he's way better than Heeshire.
Yeah, I think it's $6 million. But Freeman said yesterday somewhere in the ballpark of $15 million, and total AAV could get both star under contract.
Between the two of them.
Yeah. So
So
he talked about $7 million each players.
Pierre, Nico Heishire is $7.2 million. He is way better than Heishire.
Well, so that's what Freeman said. So he expect him to be between 7.5
Well, that's what I was saying. I said
for
7 to 8.
for me to them.
That's why I was saying the same. Like I
Yeah.
think 5 or
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
wrong.
You're right about that one over there. It's a little bit higher what I expect, but you're right.
Like
It
I
makes
looked
sense.
like Heishire at 7. Imagine paying Heishire 7.2. He's a
Now the
second.
next one, Michael, you're going to smiling right now.
Okay.
I did not know that one. Be honest with you, I know a lot about stats, but this one is over my mind. Number 5, 24 years old, left wing at $925,000 right now. Who do you think I'm talking about?
Left wing, 25 years old.
24 years old. He has 40 points right now this so far.
I don't know.
Kirill Kaprizov.
How old is he? 24? Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. He took a while. Yeah, I don't know. So but he was signed to what, a 2 or a 3-year deal?
He's right now is a Kaprizov is a statue as a 10.2 CRFA means he is immune to an offer sheet. He can become a UFA and early in the 2024 off season.
Yeah. So what they did is they paid him for last year, even though he didn't play, and then he has this year, so he's up. I mean, he's going to get serious money, Pierre. I don't see how he doesn't get 7 million.
So from what the people talk about, right, the expert, everything like that, they said they expect him a next contract range between $6.5 million to AAV on a 2-year deal to a $9 million AAV for a lockup of 6 year plus.
It does not surprise me. I mean, he's that good.
Do you feel like 2 years, 6.5 is low?
I would be really scared to sign him for that. I would want to lock him up long term.
Yes, that's a great decision about that as a GM. But if you said he's saying for 2 years, do you feel like me? I feel like he should get more.
More.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The problem is that he's only played 1 year, but look how he just scored his 19th goal, Pierre.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's on fire. Yeah.
It's like he's just a great player.
At the end of the day, right now, I believe he's the best player from Minnesota.
Oh, he is for sure, and he might be like. If you see him play like this, it's every game, Pierre. He doesn't take games off, and he does things to create stuff. Like that's
I agree with you.
He is Panarin. So if you're paying Panarin 10 million, like
but he's looking good anyway. So it's great to see him like that one over there. Number 6, Brady Tkachuk.
Man, I don't know. He's going to get 7 mil or something. I mean, his numbers are crazy.
Which player you can compare and you can get that kind of contract, you think?
It's weird because he's an unusual player, right? Like so he's a little off this year. I guess he's like a 40, 50. So maybe it's less. Maybe it's like 5, 6. Because his points are actually not that high. Like he's got 29 points this year. He had 45 and 45, but he scores, 22, 21. He's got 15. He's on pace for 30 goals.
Do you feel like he's a little bit like Gallagher Martian?
No, absolutely no. He's a different player. I don't know. He's very hard to compare. There's not many guys that are that big, play that power game, have that skill level, and can score and have scored.
I feel like he's below to Martian, but he's very close to Gallagher on points. And
I don't think they're going to use those as the comparable.
But again, he's more like agitator and more provocative players on the skin to other players and not many like him. So I believe he will shoot about $6 million to $7 million per year for 3 years contract.
6 to 7 million for 3 years. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like my initial number in my head was 7. I think you project him as like a 30-30, maybe a 40-40 guy. Like he's just getting started. He's a monster, Pierre, and he's got high skill level. He's over
Number
it already.
number 7, Igor Shestokin. Oh, by the way, Michael, I'm not on the StreamYard with you, so I'm on my website. So if you have comments or some people talk, just mention to me because I don't see right now what's going on there.
Anthony says, what's the amount of games the Panthers have left for the regular season, and how many games do we have to win to get number 1 seed?
Anthony said, what the amount of game the Panthers have left for the regular season? How many games do you have to win the game to get a number 1 seed? I can answer you to how many games they have at the end of the season, but to give you an answer for how many games do we have to win to get a number 1 seed? No, but my point to you is no, but Michael is like at the end of the day, you need to find a way to get more points at the end for versus under the team. So you cannot compare. You cannot compare. How I said that. You cannot compare, Michael, how many points you can get to win at the end, right?
Yeah. No, it's going to be hard to calculate. Everyone, it just there's 3 teams in the run, right?
Yeah, I'm getting his answer right now, Michael. Here we go. Ready?
What is it? 7?
It's funny, Florida is not there yet. Yeah, they have 9 games to go. 5 at home, 4 away. That's what they have. They play right now, Michael. Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, Dallas, Tampa Bay, and that's it.
Huh.
So they have 4 big games with the top, and they have 5 games around them. And Tampa Bay have 10 games to go. Columbus, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, Dallas, Florida. So they don't play against Carolina each other. Make sense?
So what are you thinking? They have to win 7? I think they have to win
I believe to
they have to win 9.
The key right now, Michael, is the 2 game against Carolina this weekend, or whatever you call it, this weekend or tonight. That's the key right there.
So I'm just looking at, let's look at the standings. Where is it?
So 9 game to go. 4 game against the top 2 seed. 5 game against the below, Nashville, Chicago. So with only 1 to 2 point difference, it's so hard to tell you how much it will take. But I believe right now, 3 of them play, Michael, 3 of them play almost for 700. So both of them have 10 game. Carolina have 11 game. So Carolina should win about 7-8 game over there.
Well, that's what I said, right? They have to win 7 and then maybe 9.
But the key behind this, Anthony, I'll be honest with you, is tonight and Saturday, that changed completely the way you think. Now, the only thing I would say to you, maybe how many game, I would say how many points they need to finish first. And I would believe the winner of this have to be about 78 to 82 points to finish first this division, Michael. Take a note, because that's what I think is going to be at the end of that part over there. And to reach this, Tampa Bay have 10 more games to go. They are possible of 20 points. So Tampa Bay cannot lose, Michael, more at 3 games.
No, Tampa's been sliding, like, I don't know how I think they're trying to get healthy or stay healthy for the playoffs. It's so we've got 11 games left. right, for Carolina, but you only have 9 games left for Florida and 10 games for Tampa.
So example, Anthony, you're part of with us, and Michael, follow me for 1 second. I believe take the number 80 points to finish first.
So I think what you're saying is they'll have 7 wins and 1 tie for Carolina, and they'll be 80 points.
So exactly. So they have 7 game on the 11 game. Honestly,
so that's why I was saying like Florida would have to win all 9.
So for Florida, they need to win 7 of them. But they keep behind that. Whatever, Michael, they said 6 or 7 of them. The key is to get, again, Carolina tonight and again, Carolina Saturday. That's the 4 game. They need, the 2 game, they need to beat them. And then after that, they have to beat Tampa Bay again. But if they want to finish first, those 4 games, whatever they beat Dallas and Chicago and Nashville, does not change if they lose against Carolina and they lose against Tampa Bay. So they have to be sure they win 3 of the 4 games minimum.
So I tend to think, like I said, they have, Carolina's got 2 games in hand. If Carolina goes 7-0-1 or 7-3-1, 7-3-1, they might do better than that. Then I think that's why I said before, Florida has to win all 9.
Florida have to win at least 7 of the 9 to get 79.2.
I think it's Anyways, right. Anthony he thinks that Kovalchuk is like Kaprizov. I got to be honest, I don't see that comparison, except they're both Russian. One guy's like 6'3", 230 pounds, and can shoot the puck from anywhere. The other guy is smaller and really skilled.
Still in this question, Michael, if he's not Kovalchuk, what kind of player he is?
Panarin. He's Panarin. Like, what's the difference between Kaprizov and Panarin?
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I think Kovalchuk, for me, Kovalchuk is more like Malkin.
He could be, but he's not. Yeah.
Oh, do you think Malkin is better to Kovalchuk?
Oh, way better. Malkin is the most underrated player of the last.
Do you believe Kovalchuk? I would guess you are now right away. Do you believe the average point per game is it Malkin over Kovalchuk or Kovalchuk over?
Oh, for sure it's Malkin.
What?
For sure it's Malkin. Malkin's like 1.2 a game or something. Let's look here. So Malkin is 1.175. And then I don't even think Kovalchuk's in the top 20. Kovalchuk's 0.946. Like Malkin by far, like the only players you can compare to Malkin would be Crosby. Like who else has been as good as him in that stretch?
Again, I would not compare Crosby with Malkin. It's 2 different players for me.
Well, I think it's an interesting comparison because if you got a guy that's 6'3", they only win when he's healthy, like in the playoffs. They need both of those guys. He elevates his game when Crosby's out and vice versa. So to me, Crosby is 1.278 and he's 1.175.
I'm talking about the style of the players. Like one guy was more floating, big guy, 6'4", 6'3", whatever. Right. Another guy is just about low gravity, turn around.
I'm not saying style. I'm saying if you look at the last 15 years, the 2 most dominant players, which I don't count Ovechkin. I think Ovechkin's a one-trick pony. I don't like Ovechkin as a player, never have. Malkin and Crosby for me are the best 2. Who's better?
I think Ovechkin because he's gold.
I would absolutely take either of those players over Ovechkin in 5 seconds.
I would take Ovechkin over Malkin, and I would keep Crosby.
Malkin's better than Ovechkin, in my opinion, for sure.
Because the intensity, the body check, the way Ovechkin play for me, I would take that one over there. Anthony, the reason I'm using the evil coming for Kaprizov is because he play bigger. His estimate is on the board.
Like for me, I have no time for Malkin. Never have. He's like yes, he gets a lot of goals and points. He takes a lot of nights off. He doesn't, he plays a position where he's just I've never liked the guy. He takes a lot of nights off. Defensively, a liability.
Who are you talking about?
Ovechkin. I mean, look at even Yager. Now, Yager's numbers probably dropped a little bit on average because he played longer. But then you look at Malkin, the only two active players in this, well, there's three. Like Connor is obviously the best in the game. He's one of the greats ever. And so is Crosby. But, even if you look at the last 15 years, these are the two guys. I just don't, I have no time for Ovechkin. It's interesting. Look at Kucherov and Kane. I never really think of them in that context, but yeah, for me, I have no time for him. I mean, he just does what he does. He's the Russian party machine as far as I'm concerned. A lot of wasted years there. 15 years in one cup, which is fine. Could have been 3. I agree. I actually agree with Anthony. Like, for me, I've always said this, and I'm biased. It's not, Crosby's a great player. There's no way to put it by him.
The reason Malkin is not recognized, I think, also is the fragility didn't have injuries a lot during his career.
Which so is Sidney, but more so Malkin. Malkin's played 936, and he's got 1,100 points. So it has hurt him in the last few years for sure. And Crosby's played how many? Oops, Mike Bossy. We don't want him. Well, we do want him, but
the regular. I'm talking about the regular.
No, I think you're right. I think early on Crosby had all those concussion injuries or issues, and Malkin took over that team, and they kept winning. And then when you see Malkin goes down, same thing. So he's played 100 games more than Malkin. So it's definitely switched. Like early in here, Sidney was it was scary. We didn't know what was going on, right? He had some really bad injury years. And I think later we've seen the same thing from Malkin, right? Like these few years have been rough for him. And so you're right. I think he's missed a bunch of games, and that hurts him a little bit.
You think about this, Michael. Go back a little bit lower, drop a little bit. Just I can see that. Okay, stop. Okay. Since 2007-8, Michael, he never played a full year.
I know.
I know nothing wrong about him. I don't understand the quality of the players right now. You talk about the best. I believe he's the top best 20 player in the NHL.
Oh, I think he's better than that. But yeah, I think he's definitely top for the last 15 years. For me, he's top.
Oh no, I'm talking. Okay, well, I'm talking about in ever, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Again, I think for me, it's always never been the players where because he never played full year, and it's sad to say that. You know what I mean?
I know. It's sad. You're right. Like it's definitely affected his value in people's mind. If we look at Crosby, I mean, he started out the same way. Actually, he started out earlier. He had so many problems in here. Like he missed a lot of games, Pierre.
He missed really the 2 years at the beginning of 2010 and 13. Yeah. After that, he did pretty good. Look at the rest after that. He have a really solid season back to back.
I didn't realize last year he only played 40 games, Pierre.
Last year, yeah, but it was like 60 something games. So he missed 20 games. But remember last year, I think that time he was hurt. Malkin have a good year during that time over there. But compared to Ovechkin is really regular on games.
That's kind of what I always like. Ovechkin's game, he's not in the middle of things, Pierre. He's not out there first on the puck, handling the puck. Like he's just a setup shot man. And that's why when he doesn't have the puck, it's like holy crap, this guy's skating around with a stick in the air like this, like waiting to get the puck. And then he makes highlight reels because he hits guys, but no, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just reading the Ovechkin comment.
I've seen Ovechkin live 4 times, and I regret it every time. It makes me. I'm in the stands in Buffalo. I'm in the stands in LA. I'm in the stands in Detroit, and then I was in the stands in Dallas. And I'm like, I don't know how it kept happening. I get to see him 4 times in each of those cities. And every time I'm like, this guy's junk. Why do people like him? I never understand it, but I get the numbers. He makes the highlight reel because he's a big man and he can hit. He's strong.
What do you think about what Anthony said?
What do I think about what he said? Which is what?
I think even Malkin will benefit.
Malcolm would have been great anywhere, but he wouldn't have won the cups. I think that team wins cups because they have two superstars and they have a very underrated number one defenseman. Like Chris Letang, if you look at his numbers, he's had injury problems. He had a heart attack, I think, right? Like or a stroke or something. But I think he's phenomenal game to game. You watch Chris Letang, you're like, wow, holy crap, who is this guy?
I think I'd add something good about that. I
I
think
agree. Like he would have benefited
he could play anywhere, and he could put him with Kopitar, he could put him with Backstrom or Ovechkin, everything like that. I think the fact he was Pittsburgh, he took advantage of winning Stanley Cup. He's
exactly.
part of the piece of the puzzle to win the Stanley Cup. So the fact like he will not take a more advantage to play anywhere, or I think like you said, I think it could be anywhere, and I don't see that. Have a story about him, one with Michel Therrien. We can talk about this a bit later. Good morning, NHL. Yeah, we are almost Eastern time also here in Florida. For the fact, Michael is still in the morning over there in California. We are talking about the RFA. I want to finish this quick, Michael, before we jump the last four games. We have almost at the end. The next one, number 8, Andrei Shnevnikov.
Oh man, he's gonna get big bucks too. I mean,
Sebastian Aho is at $8.5 million.
He's gonna at least get 7, Mike. I mean, I think he's at least 7, 7.5.
2 seasons, 20 goals, Michael, before 21 years old.
He's a great player. I mean,
minimum for me, Michael, 7.5, 7.5 minimum.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Next one, number 9, Patrick Laney.
I think he's in trouble. I don't know.
He's 6.5, 6.75.
I think they're going like 1 or 2 years,
Not more. $7 million.
Maybe. He's going to get the minimum raise. Like you see now that he's not in Winnipeg, what's going on? There's something going on there.
Number 10, Michael, Pavel Buchnevich.
That is a tough one. He's really come on. I think he's kind of 5-6 mil.
It's a 325, I believe, not more at $5 million.
It's hard, like he's emerging. So I guess it depends what they project him as. Like he played, when you watch him now, he's very dominant and he's a big guy, but I think 5'6" is realistic.
Do you think he's almost like Manta?
Oh, he's at least that, because he's a point a game this year. I mean, you look at
Manta is at 5.7, and then do you think he's a little bit like Oliver Backstrom?
Oh, Bjorkstrand?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think he's about that, at least maybe better. I don't know. It's hard.
He's 5.4.
Yeah, that's why I think he's like 5-6 million.
One player I want to talk about this before we jump is because he's your team, Philip Ronek.
Man, he is the best defenseman right now in Detroit.
Yep.
He's at least 5 mil. I mean, I don't project him as a number 1, but it's hard. His numbers are very good, Pierre.
He's impressive, to be honest with you, but I don't think so over $4 million.
I feel like he's better as a number 2 versus a number 1. That's kind of my feeling. I think that he's more of a number 2 than a number 1, and when they give time to Seider, then he'll fit but he plays great. Like he's such a solid defenseman, Pierre. I think he's at least 5.5.
Anthony's NHL says Themnikov may get less. What do you think, by a little, because of his little down season?
No.
I don't think so, me.
Yeah.
I think the number we mentioned, it was what, $7 million?
Yeah, he might get that.
I believe what is lower, 6.5 maybe. But again, the number is going to be dropped. My NHL if you add season and the contract. So he maybe gets 6.5 or $30 million for 5 years, and then he's going to reevaluate his case over there. So remember, the kid is what, 21, Michael?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you locked that guy up.
I think for me, I would line up for 5 years. $32 million at this area, I think you get him. I don't know what you think, NHL.
How many years?
5 years?
32?
Yeah, it's about 6.3.
Yeah, that's not bad. He might sign that.
Yep. He said also Buchnik,
Buchnevich or whatever his name is.
That's because he wrote like Butch Novak. I was trying to find his name. Get $5.5 million for 2 years. I think if you are his agent, you don't want to go higher that level because Buchnevich is already at 25, 26 years old. So you don't want to get over too many years because he become a UFA after that, if I think I'm right about that. So I think a 2 years contract, about $5 million, $10 million, you get him, and you go from there after that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
I'm going to surprise each one of you here. Do you trade Buchnevich to get a defenseman?
No. Why would you do that? What do you need a defenseman for?
They don't have enough strong defensemen.
What? They have they got Adam Fox, who everyone's saying, oh, he's Norris Trophy. They got Keandre Miller. They've got Brandon Schneider coming.
Oh, Michael, you talk about rookies right now. You don't talk about those guys cannot carry on the team for you.
Yes, they can. They got
not at their age. Like Schneider and Miller, you cannot compare this to Mekar, to Hughes, to those kind of players.
What?
By mile.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Adam Fox?
No, I'm talking about Miller and Schneider.
So you look at if you want to talk their top four, they got Trouba and Fox, and they got Keandre Miller is probably going to end up a number 4, and then Schneider is going to be probably a number 3. And in the meantime, I would not trade Buchanan.
That's the first time you talk about Trouba on positive side.
I don't think he's that, but he is what he is. He can play top 4.
I agree with you, but he's not the top 3. Yeah, but my point to you, you need something to attract a good defenseman. I believe Buchnevich could be one of that team to get something solid and that for them.
I wouldn't trade him at all. If anything, they would move Kreider at this point. I don't know if Colin Blackwell really has a long-term future. Obviously, Lafreniere and Kakko will eventually be, Kaprizov will all be top 6. So I can see where you would want to move Buchnevich, but why wouldn't you move Kreider? Because you move Kreider and Blackwell.
You don't get something solid yet.
From Kreider?
Yeah.
What?
He's 31 years old.
Yeah, but what are you looking for? A young star defenseman?
Yeah. Do you trade Buchnevich again, Josh Manson from Anaheim?
Nope.
Why?
Josh Manson is a 1990. You trade Chris Kreider for Josh Manson.
He's so old like that, Manson?
Yes.
Really? This I'm wrong though. So I thought Manson was 24, 25.
Oh no. He's
really?
29. He's a 91. He's gonna be 30.
20, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say Kreider.
I'll be honest with you, Michael, he surprised me. I never thought he was so old.
Yeah, no, he's up there.
Wow. Sorry about that. Anyhow, maybe you still here, Anthony. What do you think about another player we don't talk about this? He's already have 3 points right now. Michael is the new kid, Russian kid for the Rangers.
No, that's what I was saying. Kaprizov's going to be a top 6. So you got Kaprizov, Lafreniere, and Kakko. They're top 6. So you move out Kreider, you move out Blackwell because he's maybe a flash. You make a decision on. I don't think you move. I think you keep Strome. So if you're going to trade anyone to get a defenseman, then Kreider. But I don't know. I think I just be
It was
patient.
just a suggestion, by the way.
No,
So
I
let's
get it.
move on. We have about 5-10 minutes. So let's move on with the full game quickly yesterday and what's going on tonight.
Well, let's see. Oh, by the way, I was saying Ryan Lindgren. Have you watched him play?
Who?
Ryan Lindgren for New York is a top 4.
Oh, no.
He's been playing pretty well. He's very
I'll be
good.
honest with you.
Yeah, at worst case, he's a 5, but he's better than I thought. I don't think he's a star. I mean, I'm not saying that, but they have depth on D coming too. I think that they're going to surprise us with some other prospects. But definitely, to me, I'm really high on Schneider. Like, he's way better than he's mean. He can contribute offensively, and he's physically mature already. Like, I think he's going to make the if you have Keandre Miller on your team, like, what's the difference between him and Schneider? Height. Actually, he's mean. He's maybe meaner. Look, I got a co-host here. Keandre's a different player, but he skates. Man, Schneider's a OG. All right, so let's quickly run through what we had last night. Chicago beats Nashville in overtime, but Nashville still gets a point. So in the standings, Nashville's got 52 points, I think. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. So Nashville is 52 points. Dallas, though, still has 3 games in hand, and they're 2 points behind. Chicago, 1 game in hand, and they're 3 points behind. So,
I think the game yesterday, Michael, to win an OT, save Chicago, stay in the playoff, first of all. The second thing, I believe, and Tim mentioned this to me during live stream, he's really believe, and I agree with him, Dallas is going to make the playoff. I don't see how Nashville can hang in there with them. And Dallas is going to get, they have 11 games to go compared to 8 only. And I think for 11 games, Dallas can win 7 of them. Nashville on the 8, they will maybe win 5 of them. That give them 62 points. And then 8 of them, that gives 66 points for Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be very close, though. But I think Dallas definitely has a lot of reasons that, but if Hins keeps missing time, or Hezekainen runs into injuries, or Kudobin, like, they got some fragile pieces there. But I got to think they're going to get in.
Yep. Good performance, Chicago yesterday, losing 4-3, Michael. I don't want to go quick on that. But they came back with 4-4. I think Kubalik scored the last, the tie the game, I believe, and then they come back and the goal. Angel have a good game yesterday. I think he have 2 goals yesterday.
Yep. They played. Whoops.
And you have a good team there on the, I don't know where you're going right now.
Sorry. So yeah, Tolvanen scores. Granlund's having a good year. Credit to him. Pia Suter, I mean, great year. They got some really good rookies.
Tolvanen was back on the lineup. That make it fun with them. Score a goal right there.
So good.
But again, Strozza scored his first goal with that part. Kelly Nook scored his 3rd one over there. But Kubalik scored a tie game. I'm talking about Angel. I thought he have 2 goals yesterday. But he
great goal by Sissons. I don't know if you saw Sissons' goal.
Finally, Sutter scored his 13. I think he was up over 20 games with no goal, by the way.
Oh, did he? Yeah, and then he got an assist. So he had a good game yesterday.
Yep.
But Kubalik's very good.
Yeah, good for them. Great. Let's move on to the next one. And the next game I want to talk about this is one team's going up and one team's going down. When I said that, Coach, because I believe Arizona is getting worse and worse. And then Minnesota is still hanging there. Again, Kaprizov is on another planet right now. He have 1 goal yesterday. But I like the fact right now, Fiala, we talk all the time about Kaprizov, but Fiala right now, the last 10, 15 games, he have an amazing, great run right now for him. 16 goals. He really starts slowly, but you can see right now like 1-2-0-0, but you can see the game log. He's getting there. He have really not started the season properly, but to be honest with you, 16 goal, it's pretty amazing.
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, he said he scored in each of the last 3 games. His goal was like awesome too. Is it the wraparound one?
It was another wrap up here again, the second of the year like that. So good for
It
him.
was pretty impressive. Did have a little streak where he didn't get some goals, but he's such a dynamic player. That's an exciting player.
Yep.
Um, the
And the
other,
last from Arizona, Michael gave a chance to St. Louis to catch up, but the team right now is on a contender to make the playoff. All the team on each division, St. Louis have the most difficult schedule to
yeah,
the end of the year, Michael.
for sure.
Yeah. They have a
Well,
game after a game again, Colorado, Minnesota, and
they have 4 games in hand, Peter.
yeah.
I gotta think St. Louis is gonna make it. I think San Jose thinks they're going to, but they can't get out of their own shorts. It's an interesting race.
The next
Right.
2 game, another Vegas win. I think they are 8 right now, so good for them.
They're 6 games now or 7?
8, I believe.
8, yeah.
Again, it was great. Alex Tuck, another goal, 17 of the year. You talk about John Mark, 11 of the year. It surprised me. Marchessault's 12, 13 is he have a quiet year, to be honest with you.
But he's almost a point. He's like just 60 points on pace.
Yeah, he got more assists this year, but it was the one he usually will get only 23 goal. It's not too bad.
He hadn't
But
scored well either.
you know what I mean? I don't know. I think his name don't mention more like Stone. A great game yesterday. Also, we do not talk about him a lot. Pietrangelo, Michael, have a good game yesterday. Have a one play where he faked 2 guys diving left and right. It was funny to watch this one over there, but good performance for the Vegas yesterday for sure. And the game of the night, the Montreal Canadiens won 4-3. The score don't show what Montreal completely. We lost. I'll be honest with you, I'm upset this morning because Mr. McDavid, the head guy hitting now head yesterday 2 times again Perry, 1 time again Byron. Game earlier again Kokanemi. This game yesterday, Michael, it was the playoff game. 87 hit, Michael.
Wow.
40 or maybe 89. It's 47, 46 versus 41 or 43. Anderson was best player of the game. Weber played finally his best game. Romanov get a first point the last 25 game, and I can go all the way like that. Likonen score a goal the last 20 game, and Petry 2 assists, and he scored finally on power play. But the score don't show what Edmonton did. Edmonton scored again because I would say nicely because Mr. Drouin make a stupid penalty of 4 minutes and 10 turnover that Edmonton scored 2 goals and 1 minute at the end of the game. But and they barely score at the end. And then I don't know if you see this, but you mentioned this like Josh Anderson on breakaway with a empty net with 3 seconds, and he started to shoot the puck. He broke his stick.
That's too bad.
And you know what? The funny thing, Michael, he could have a hat trick.
I know, that's what I was saying. Like, it could have been a hat trick. I think he was like, I'm like, oh, dang, that's too bad. I was like, oh, he looks getting a hat trick. Not.
Yeah. So good game because for Montreal right now, they get an 8 point, I believe. You can go back on the standing, Michael, on the North Division. That step up for them as a big W there for them. Again, Edmonton. They prepare the biggest series of the year with our Carey Price. Again, Calgary, Friday, Saturday, Monday, 3 games and 4 nights. Calgary have to win the 3 games if they want to stay on the race. And for the flip side, Montreal at 3 points, that would give them enough to win to stay number and the 4th. Now people start talking about Vancouver. Michael, I understand Vancouver. I understand a little bit fans Vancouver excited about that, but they have to win about 13 game or 12 game in the last 16 game. I don't see that happen. So
I don't see it. Vancouver looked good the last 2 nights, but I mean, it's too little too late, I think.
Well, Michael, they have to play again now, Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton. You know what I mean? and they
Yeah.
have like 4 or 5 games in Calgary, and they have to win. And that back-to-back game, a back-to-back game, everything like that is hard. All right, let's move on with the game of the night. And by the way, Toffoli scored his 22nd of the year.
That's all.
And McDavid, like that, you have 3 points again against Montreal again tonight, last night.
Well, I've always kind of thought, like, that's why I was like, man, what if, like, he can score. He's always been able to score. He's always been a top scorer every league he's been in. I just think that they shot. You saw it a little bit with the Islanders, but man, what a great year for Tyler. 44 goal pace.
Yep.
Like
7 o'clock, Toronto Maple Leaf, Winnipeg Jet. Toronto Maple Leaf on the slum, 0-3-3 right now. Winnipeg needed to get one to be close to them. That'll be an interesting race until the end of the year. I don't think so. They would catch up them, but a good game to watch for sure. The next game, Flyers Rangers. This gave them a chance to stay in the race. I don't think so. Rangers can make it, and we'll see what happens. But I always love to watching the Rangers, to be honest with you right now. They are a fun team to watch. The next game, Bronze Sabres move on. That's the only thing. But the Browns want to stay in the top seed. They have to beat the Buffalo Sabres, where they perform very well the last 10, 12 games. So it's good watching them. The game of the night, Capitals, Islanders, first place right there, because that's the seat number 1 and 2. Blue Jacket Lightning. The Lightning need to win to stay in the race. They cannot drop that game if they want to stay number 1 at the end of the year. This is the big game of the night for us in South Florida. Unbelievable what Kenville does with this team. Sam Bennett, Michael, is on fire right now. Love to watching him. They play without Walmart. Walmart is now the lineup tonight. I see this, and Bobrovsky is going to be between the pipes. It's confirmed from the NHL. Devils, Penguins, same situation. Devils dropping. They had lost like 12 games. Right now, they'll win 1 game, whatever it is. And St. Louis looking good. And we'll see what happens. The good game about that, on the flip side, I know it's your team, but the Dallas Stars need to beat that team, because if they want to make the playoff, they cannot drop that game. This game, Michael, cannot be dropped by the Dallas Stars.
I think the Detroit Red Wings are going to win 8 games in a row, and they're going to make the playoffs.
I don't think so, but for me, for the Detroit, I'll be honest with you, it's all about development. It's about quality time for them. Let your young players play. Stop to let play Gagne, Felson, Nelson, and those guys. Just let play with the young men right now, Shevnikov, everything like that. I think that would be the fun. That's the way to do that for them.
What a waste!
I don't know if Fabry is back in the lineup tonight, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know they really miss him. He's been plagued by injuries his whole career, but it's kind of unfortunate because you can see the impact he has when he's in the lineup. Rasmussen, number 1 centerman. I don't think that's a long-term thing, but that's funny. I really like the way he plays. Verona has been a little quiet. He's a good player. Ponix played pretty well. Nothing overwhelming. Ernie, man, he's so much faster than he was before. I like the way he plays. If he keeps playing like this, he could be a real steal. I'm kind of shocked because last year he looked absolutely not great. I want to see more Svechnikov up in the lineup. I'm not sure what it is they don't like about him. You know who's playing well is Cholowski. Cholowski looks like a different defenseman, Pierre. I was very down on him. I thought he was just going to never be a good defenseman.
I looked at lineup right now. Let's give another contract to Stahl example, right? Now you add a German player there.
Yeah.
That for top 4 completely changed, Michael.
So, and you think about, have you watched Lindstrom?
Yeah. It's not bad, but my point to you, like you add the German there and you drop maybe Stetcher and maybe the Kessler is out now. You have you look a good 6 defenseman.
That's it. If you put Seider in there, and to your point, and like Lidstrom is a very good number 5'6". He can skate. He's big. He's not going to give you much offense, but he's like a very reliable defenseman. We saw this last year. We see it again this year. He looks good. And they still have Jared McIsaac in the mix. He's had injury problems this year, but he's going to be a very good defenseman. Like, if you like Noah Dobson, you'll like Jared McIsaac.
Definitely.
So it's going to be interesting. And then, the question will be, if you look at the draft, I mean, there's a lot of defensemen. Do they grab Luke Hughes?
By the way, the Rangers tonight, Michael, they bring Zach Jones in the lineup.
Oh.
First game in NHL.
Huh. Interesting.
Nick Foligno, first game tonight with the Toronto Maple Leafs on the top line with Matthews and Marner.
Wait, where are they playing? Yeah, Jets, right. It was so long ago, I forgot. Avalanche and Blues, this will be a huge game, Pierre, for the Blues. I don't think Rantanen is playing tonight for the Avalanche.
Rantanen is out.
Yeah. Senators, Canucks, I mean, this is really for nothing, but it should be an interesting game to watch. Canucks have played well last few games. I think in their head, they're like, we can make it. I don't know if it's true, but.
Luukkonen, goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres, start his first game in NHL tonight.
What's his name? Luukkonen? Oh,
Luukkonen.
Yeah, he's good. I like him. That's going to be interesting. If he can emerge.
Sorry again?
I can't pronounce his name. But he's the Finnish kid that they have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Do you see this? No, you don't. Because it's Hockey DB. I don't know why I use it, because it always bumps me. He's an interesting prospect.
I agree with you.
Terrible in the AHL. Wow. That's terrible. But he's winning somehow. All right. Whatever. Well, good luck to him. He's high draft pick.
Could have been start the game tonight. Campbell start the game. Bennington start the game. Schultz now is a day-to-day with lower body injury, not play tonight. Samsonov is going to start the game tonight. I give you everything I can the last minute before we shut down here. And that's pretty much it for me.
Sounds good, Pierre.
Great show. Good fun to check on the RFA. Tomorrow we're going to go to UFA, Michael, on for the next year. The best 12, everything like that. And great to say thank you, Anthony. Always a great pleasure. We invite you, Anthony, to join the live stream. And, of course, our best friend, NHL, Michael, always been there, live stream, morning show, everything like that. So thanks to be here today. And, Michael, we wish you an amazing, great Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday, at 11 o'clock Eastern Time.
Thank you, Pierre.
Have a good one.
Anybody need a shepherd? My co-host today is Callie.
There you go.
Callie, do you want to say something, Callie? She's just a
cute one.
babysitting. Callie, she's my best friend now. Stop.